Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited. So, this is the first one of our webinars. Thank you for stopping by and committing a little bit of time to learn about how to change your lifestyle, how to be healthier. That's my biggest passion and goal in life, besides raising my children and being home with my family. But I love this. This is being forever my goal. And today I am going to dive into something that passionates me a lot, which is making our society healthier. So, education is one of the biggest parts of being a healthcare professional. So, I owe to this and I need to do it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this series and learn. So, just by being part of my practice and being part of my patients, I also think that one of my goals should be to give you guys insight and give you a little bit of education, which is why you guys come here to see me, not just for a full physical. This should be long lasting result, and that's how we're gonna do it. So I hope you enjoy what we're gonna do with this series, and there's more coming up. So let's get started because I know you guys don't have a lot of time and I have to go see patients as well. So happy Monday, let's get started. So the name of my webinar is going to be From Insulin Resistance to Metabolic Syndrome. So again, I'm Natalia Schrier, nurse practitioner and owner of Holistic Primary Care of Delray Beach. So we're starting this week's series kind of hidden drivers of what metabolic health is, not just managing the symptoms, which is what conventional medicine has been doing. I want to try to find and address the root causes and restoring balance so your body can truly heal. So I'm gonna start this presentation with a quick fact. When I started this presentation, I started connecting dots and I thought, well, insulin is a hormone just like other hormones that depend on fat and cholesterol. So I wanted to look up statin medications that we all quote unquote get help the metabolic syndrome we're on. And I found that definitely statin medications can increase peripheral insulin resistance by reducing called the GLUT4 transport in the adipose and muscle tissue. So that's interesting. So we all get these medications to help us with metabolic syndrome, but they are actually causing us to have insulin resistance. So why this matters? Let's start with the why. This matters because there is 1 in 3 adults in America that has metabolic syndrome. So that's huge. And most of us, or most, not us, I know, but most people that don't go to a doctor that talks to them about nutrition and health are not aware that they are in this state. So, metabolic syndrome is a major risk factor for diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, dementia, PCOS, and fatty liver disease. That's huge. Pretty much all the chronic conditions that are coming and rolling into my practice on daily basis. So, but the good news is this is preventable and is reversible if we take it into the functional holistic approach. So, what is insulin resistance? So, let's picture it like grab a key and look at your door. Insulin is that key. Its job is to open those doors so the glucose or sugar that you consume can go into that cell and be used for energy. But what happens when that cell stops responding to that key and the key doesn't feed anymore because we overate sugars, because we consume excess amounts of carbohydrates? Key just won't feed anymore and that cell won't open to the glucose anymore, and we are not getting the sugar that we need for energy. So that is called insulin resistance. Your pancreas is working harder and is trying to produce more insulin because the body is needing it. Obviously there is sugar but there is no energy, so over time we start just getting very tired, and that leads to being fatigued. You start building that belly fat because that sugar starts storing in places that doesn't need to be stored. Going to be sugar cravings. There's going to be lots of inflammation. Kidneys are working harder, so this kidney disease also presented here. And of course, all the other diseases that we talk about. When there is inflammation, there is cardiovascular disease. Let's think of insulin resistance as the root cause problem to many illnesses and diseases. So, what is metabolic syndrome? So, metabolic syndrome is kind of a cluster of warning signs. Insulin resistance has been brewing under the surface. How do we define it? We define it as 3 out of the 5 markers that I'm gonna tell you right now. So you're gonna present. You only need to have 3 out of this, and it is allopathic medicine, because I really think that once you have 1 or 2 of those, you're already path to metabolic syndrome. So increased waist circumference, high blood pressure, elevated triglycerides, low HDL, high fasting glucose. So this is your body's way to say, hey, stop, pay attention, something deeper is going on. Let's go back here. Okay. I hope this is making sense so far, but let me just connect those dots. So how these two connect, how the insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome connect. Insulin resistance is an engine. Let's picture the engine of your car or your car. Metabolic syndrome is that dashboard warning light. We don't address the engine and the lights keep flashing. So the engine of your car is braking. You got like a check engine light and it's flashing. That's the insulin resistance, right? If we don't fix what's broken in your engine, those flashing lights keep going and going until it leads to chronic disease. And this is when you go to the doctor because you're not feeling well, and they order blood work and you get diagnosed with diabetes, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver, sometimes even dementia. All the inflammatory diseases, that even joint aches, your rheumatoid arthritis is flaring up, you have brain fog, you're feeling tired, your thyroid is flashing, all this stuff start coming up when we don't pay attention to those flashing lights. So if we turn our attention to the root causes, we can stop the cycle before those outcomes actually occur. So what are the root causes? When we look at this functional medicine lens, looking at poor nutrition, so are we eating too many processed food, refined carbs, poor quality fats? Are we constantly stress creating cortisol and inflammation? We're not sleeping enough. We're not going to bed early enough and giving the body the necessary rest that it needs to regenerate those cells. The gut microbiome. If our gut is not in the right place, we're not having the right enzymes, the good, bad bacteria to create those chemical processes for absorption of nutrients that the body needs to in the daily basis. Environmental toxins that we're constantly exposed to, like pesticides, but not only that, the chemicals in all our cleaning products, the chemicals that they're used in our foods, things that our body has to deal with constantly, creates inflammation and degeneration of cells. All of this, adding it up all together, overwhelms your body and creates that cells become resistant to the insulin. So I truly believe that addressing all these root causes is key solution and prevention to metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. So let's talk about another part of this piece, which is our functional labs. Conventional medicine, we often wait until blood sugars are already high or cholesterols are already high to just kind of put a band-aid to those problems, right? But in functional medicine, we look much deeper and earlier. We use labs such as fasting insulin and HOMAR IR. We do inflammation markers like the HACRP. We use advanced cholesterol labs like the APOB and LDL particle size, which if you watch my last episode, we talk about those. Nutrition like vitamin D and magnesium. Definitely, I'm gonna add your gut health and GI map and hormone Dutch testing in there because it all interconnect and play a role in our insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. This gives a full picture of what's happening in the body so we can intervene much sooner. So, holistic solutions. How do we begin to reverse this? We use food as medicine for sure. Everything, food is health, and food is the culprit to all this. So we need to start by food, addressing our diet. Next week, I am going to be hosting Jenna, who is a registered dietitian who is going to be going much deeper into this topic. And she's going to guide us into what nutrition changes we have to prevent this from occurring. But let's talk about food as medicine, anti-inflammatory diet, Mediterranean diet, low glycemic meals. We focus on building muscle and moving your body. The following week, we're going to have a trainer from Lab Fitness that they're so good, and they are going to be talking to us about body movement as well. We reset this. We need to definitely work in that cortisol level. So I am going to be guiding you how to reset stress and sleep patterns. We heal the gut with fiber, probiotics, and eradicators. We need to heal the gut before anything. Gut and brain axis is a big one in my books. We use targeted supplements like berberine, magnesium, vitamin D, oh, look, my Spanish and English are mixing, omega 3s, and adaptogens. These are natural, powerful tools to restore balance. So I'm going to wrap it up. This information so far has been good for you, and don't miss the next few episodes. We're gonna dive deep much into this topic. At Holistic Primary Care of Delray Beach, our approach is really unique. We combine advanced lab testing, root cause analysis, functional medicine protocols with modern support like IV therapies, peptide hormone balancing. But even better, we put the heart to what we do, and we have a happy, friendly environment where you're going to feel safe to transform your lifestyle. We don't just manage symptoms like many other practitioners, like allopathic practitioners do. We guide you through your lifestyle and commit to transform and give you your real tools so you can have long-term health, longevity, anti-aging. I'm all about for that. I want you guys to age healthy and enjoy up to your great grandchildren if we can. So this is just the beginning. Like I said, next few weeks we're gonna have other spokespersons. We're gonna have our nutritionists. We're gonna have the Lab Fitness. Then I'm gonna have an expert in hormones that is gonna be talking to us about the influence of hormones in the resistant and metabolic syndrome, well as a GLP-1 expert coming up to talk to us about the new guidelines and how GLP-1 has helped practitioners transform out of insulin resistance and change the numbers of obesity and changing America, really. So miss next week. So all this resonates to you, really, I invite you to schedule a consultation at our office. I'll be waiting for you with my arms open, and together we can uncover the unique root causes and create personalized path to your health. So it was a pleasure talking to you guys today. I hope you guys have an amazing week. This is a great way to start your week with a really good, healthy mindset. Try to apply what I talked today throughout this week. Little baby steps toward health are better than big steps and just completely quit what you're doing. So I really want you to do one little change every day in your health. It was a pleasure. I see you guys next week.